Parents of Reddit. What are your I looked away for 1 second stories?
I'm talking about those heart-stopping moments when you turn your back, and your little angel transforms into a chaos gremlin.
Well, Reddit delivered, and these stories are a hilarious and terrifying mix of pure kid logic.
Let's start with a classic. One parent shared that they were in the kitchen making lunch.
Their toddler was happily playing with blocks on the living room floor.
Total silence for about 30 seconds.
Any parent knows that silence is the most suspicious sound a child can make. So, they peek around the corner.
What do they find?
Their kid, standing on the coffee table, covered head to toe in an entire tub of Vaseline.
The floor, the table, the TV remote, everything was sleek and shiny. The kid just looked at them with a greasy smile and said, "I'm a slug."
How do you even get mad at that? It's creative, right?
But the cleanup.
I don't even want to think about the cleanup.
Here's another one that'll make you check your pantry.
Mom was putting away groceries, and her 4-year-old was supposed to be helping. She turned to put a can on the shelf, and in that split second, he grabbed a bag of flour from the counter. He then proceeded to run through the house, leaving a trail of white powder like he was marking a path through a snowy forest.
The house looked like a bakery exploded. When she finally caught up to him, he was sitting in the middle of the living room, making flower angels on the carpet. Again, the creativity is admirable, but the mess is legendary. This next one involves a bit of artistic expression. A dad was working from home, and his 5-year-old daughter was coloring quietly beside him. Or so he thought.
He got absorbed in an email, and when he looked back, she was gone.
He called her name, no answer. He started to panic, searching room by room.
He finally found her in the bathroom. She had discovered a tube of bright red lipstick in her mom's makeup bag.
And she hadn't just put it on her lips. Oh no, she had given the entire toilet a makeover. The seat, the lid, the tank, everything was covered in smeared, waxy, crimson lipstick. She proudly announced, "I made it pretty for you, Daddy." He said it looked like a crime scene from a clown movie. Let's talk about sibling teamwork, shall we?
One Redditor had 2 boys, ages 3 and 5. The parents were getting ready to go out. Just a quick 5-minute sprint to get dressed.
They left the boys in the playroom with a stern, "Don't get into any trouble," famous last words.
When they came back, the older boy was standing on a chair, holding a jug of maple syrup.
The younger boy was lying on the floor below him with his mouth wide open, trying to catch the sticky stream. There was syrup on the walls, the ceiling, the floor, and all over both of them.
They looked like 2 little bears who just raided a beehive. Their explanation? "We were hungry. Can't argue with that, I guess." This story takes us outdoors.
A family was having a barbecue. The dad was manning the grill, and his 2-year-old son was toddling around the yard. The dad looked away for just a moment to flip the burgers.
When he looked back, his son had found the garden hose. He had the nozzle on the jet setting and was gleefully watering everything in sight.
This included the freshly set picnic table, all the guests' shoes, and his dad's perfectly grilled burgers, which were now floating in a puddle on the grill.
The kid was just laughing, completely soaked and having the time of his life.
The dad said he didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so he just turned off the grill and ordered a pizza. And what about those moments that are less messy and more terrifying?
One Mom shared a story about being at the park. Her daughter was on the swing, and she was pushing her. Her phone buzzed, so she glanced down to check the message.
It was a 1-second glance. When she looked up, the swing was empty.
Her heart dropped to her stomach. She scanned the playground in a panic, and there she was. Her daughter had somehow gotten off the moving swing, sprinted across the playground, and was now halfway up the tallest slide, the one meant for much older kids. She was just standing there, waving, completely oblivious to the heart attack she'd just given her mother.
Here's one for all the pet owners out there.
A parent was trying to get some chores done while their toddler played.
The family dog was sleeping peacefully on its bed.
The parent went to the laundry room to switch a load.
They were gone for maybe a minute.
When they came back, the toddler had decided the dog needed a new haircut. He had a pair of safety scissors and had managed to snip off a chunk of fur right from the middle of the dog's back.
The poor dog just sat there, looking confused with his new, very lopsided hairdo.
Luckily, the dog was incredibly patient, and the scissors were the plastic kind. But still,
that's a look. This next story is a masterclass in stealth. A dad was watching TV with his 3-year-old. The kid asked for a snack, so the dad went to the kitchen to grab some apple slices. He was gone for 30 seconds max.
When he returned, the living room was empty. He called his son's name.
Silence. He checked upstairs. Nothing.
He checked the backyard.
Nothing.
Full-blown panic mode sets in. He's about to call 911 when he hears a tiny giggle coming from the kitchen.
He goes back in, and there's his son, hiding inside the bottom kitchen cabinet, happily eating an entire bag of chocolate chips he'd managed to find and open all by himself.
He just peeked out with a chocolate-smeared face and said, "Boo. Let's go back to some more artistic endeavors." MOM had just finished painting the living room a lovely, calm shade of beige. She was admiring her work when her 6-year-old asked if he could paint too. She gave him some paper and watercolors and set him up at the kitchen table. She turned her back to wash her brushes in the sink. It couldn't have been more than a minute. When she turned back, he had abandoned his paper. He had taken his blue watercolor paint and was adding improvements to her freshly painted wall. He had painted a giant, lopsided blue smiley face right in the middle of the beige wall.
It needed to be happier, he explained.
Well, she wasn't happy, but 10 years later, they still haven't painted over it. This last one is a simple, yet elegant, tale of destruction. A parent was folding laundry in their bedroom. Their 4-year-old was sitting on the bed, tearing up pieces of paper.
Harmless, right? The parent finished folding a shirt, placed it on the dresser, and turned back to the laundry basket.
In that instant, the child had stopped tearing paper. Instead, they had picked up a permanent marker that had been left on the nightstand. They weren't drawing on the walls or the furniture.
Nope, they were systematically drawing a black dot on the center of each and every freshly folded, clean, white shirt. Just a single, perfect, permanent black dot on about 10 shirts.
The precision was almost impressive.
These stories are a perfect reminder that parenting is a wild ride.
One moment you have a peaceful, angelic child, and the next you're cleaning maple syrup of the ceiling.
It's chaotic, it's messy, and it's often hilarious in hindsight.
So, if you're a parent, what's your "I looked away for 1 second" story?
Share it in the comments below, because we could all use a good laugh and the reminder that we're not alone in this beautiful chaos. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more.